Alright, the crate video part 2. Some folks wanted to see what was in that lower rank of rifles in the crate, so I took them out. Well, I didn't take the lower rifles out, I took the upper ones out, but this, of course, is a nice laminated 1939 Izhevsk. That was in the upper rank of rifles, along with none more like it. Now, let's get that out the way, and I'll show you what was underneath them all. Okay. The lower rank. A few other things I'll show you in a minute. We have... Let me see here. This one is 1935 Tula, and as you can see... Whoops, lost the focus there. Let's back that off a little bit and have a better look. Come on, there we go. DDR, East German Triangle 1 marking. You see that little one in the triangle right there? That means you have a rifle, or at least a barrel receiver, that was once used by East Germany. Let's back that off again there. And the next one... Whoops. Got over here for that. This... is a 1935 Izhevsk 3-digit serial number. Nice clean one. Oh well, it's got a little dust on it sitting in the crate. Let's see, over here we have... I can't even see that without my glasses on. I should put them on. A 1938 Tula. There we go. Just a typical refurb on that one. Nothing special there. And over here we have a 1937 Izhevsk. This one is a Finncapture 9130. As you can see, the SA stamp on the side. And next to that one, we have a 1941 Finncapture. As you can see, it is both 41 and SA stamped. It's got a small SA stamp there, and on the side, if I can get over there, we have the 41. And this one, also a Tula. This one is a 1926 Tula. Refurb, ex-Dragoon. Other than being a nice rifle, nothing particularly special. I just happen to like the old markings, so I collected quite a few of them. Okay, after that we have a 1926 Izhevsk. Also, just an ex-Dragoon 9130 refurb. And over here, we have another DDR rifle, 1938 Izhevsk. As you can see right there, the Triangle 1 marking. See how close I can zoom in before I lose the focus lock. Get a better look at it. It's highlighted, it's a little easier to see. Okay. Back that off a little so I can see what the hell I'm doing. And over here we have a 1923. This is the overstamped one. Excuse me while I look. Yes, it is. Okay. This is the overstamped 1923. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that in the picture, other than being another interesting 3-digit serial number, but that is actually a 1922 barrel overstamped to 1923. I can't focus in close enough. There's simply not enough light down there. See if I can just walk it in on there. Maybe that way you'll see it. No, not really. Well, maybe it'll come out. It's a 3/2. Ex-Dragoon. Typical refurb other than that. No, I'm sorry. This one is actually a Balkan rifle. That's been issued. Okay, number last one over there. We have a 1933 Tula. Typical refurb. Ex-Dragoon. And that's the 10 rifles in the lower part of the crate. And you can see we got the magazine pouches in there and the oil bottles down there. Cleaning kits and slings and other goodies that belong to these rifles. Alright, and over here we have another small collection. Stuff that I used to collect back in the day when it was cheap. When the communists had recently collapsed. Let me open that. It's a little less too much glare. you used to be able to buy stuff like this for like $10 and $15. Nowadays they reproduce a lot of this crap, but back then this stuff is all the real deal. Everything here, this was all collected 1992, 93, 91 even. Right after the fall of the USSR, when you could still get this stuff out of Russia. And we have things like the, I don't remember the names of all of these. These are obvious. These are Orders of the Red Star. It's kind of like their version of the Bronze Star is for the U.S. Army. And these are various, well, that one, of course, I do remember. This is the October Revolution Medal. That was issued in 1967 to surviving members of the 1917 Revolution. It contains 3 precious metals: gold, platinum, and silver. It's actually a fairly expensive metal. It was not that cheap even back then. These are various labor medals. I forget what the hell this one is. Over here we have the Great Patriotic War, Order of the Great Patriotic War. Now these badges, one of them I'm told is like the highway police or something, some kind of traffic police. That one, of course, might be a reproduction. I'm not sure. I don't really remember. That's KGB. These are one of these. Another one I think is border guards, something like that. I didn't make much of a study of it back then. I just collected a bunch of them because they looked nice and I shoved them in a case. Now the watches, these are all Soviet era made watches. We have Stalin, of course, KGB, Great Patriotic War, another KGB watch, and the 80th anniversary watch. I think that's what that is anyway. They all work nice. Mechanical movements. I think they were like 15 joule or something like that. They work very well. I have more of this stuff somewhere, but this is all I could fit in the case. And of course, this might be a reproduction. I don't remember exactly, but this is actually a KGB identification folder. Probably is reproduction, but then again, because of when I bought it, you really can't be sure. A lot of original stuff was coming out of Russia at that time. Basically, they needed money, and if they could unbolt it, cart it away, they were selling it. There were guys at the flea markets back then that had tables overwhelmed with this shit. I mean, buckets of little medals, boxes full of these little things, case after case after case full of these more decorative medals. These Orders of the Red Star, I think they sell for over $100 today. They were like 10 bucks back then. Now, they weren't that expensive at all. The only one of these I actually paid real money for was the October Revolution medal right there. But the rest of them, they were not that expensive. Just boggles my mind that even with all that crap they had for sale back then, they actually have to reproduce these now. The demand is so great. I mean, I would buy an original, but I draw a line at buying reproduction commie medals. I mean, that I'm not going to do. It's got some history on it. All right, you know, I'll spend a buck or two, but I'm not buying commie medals reproductions. That's not happening. I'll buy maybe a little reproduction of an American medal, something like that. Not the real thing, obviously, but Little Women. But I'm not giving the commie bastards any more money than I have to. Although I'm sure they probably make them in Taiwan anyway. I don't think they make the reproductions in Russia. And we get a good look at the rifles here. They're all packed away in the crate. And the oil bottles, you really can't see them, but they're common. Typical communist oil bottle. These are what 20 of these come with every crate, and you can buy them for like 50 cents at most gun shows. They're actually a very good oil bottle. There's nothing wrong with these. You can use them for anything. You don't have to use them for most scenes, but they don't look like this in the crate, obviously. They're covered with a huge, thick, gooey layer of nasty grease. And it is grease, by the way, not Cosmoline. Cosmoline's our stuff. That's what Uncle Sam uses. Cosmoline is the product of a first world economy that can afford it. The commies, they use good old-fashioned cheap-ass axle grease, which works, but is much messier. Cosmoline goes on hot and liquid, and it dries to a nice, thick, waxy coating that stays on there for 10,000 years.
And it's expensive stuff. Comes in big blocks. You got to boil it in a kettle in a field. It's a pain in the ass. And getting it off requires some serious elbow grease. So be thankful they used regular grease on these and not Cosmoline. I've dealt with Cosmolines. I know what that's like. It's a pain in the ass. But it works really good. When you put something in Cosmoline, you never worry about it rusting again. It's good for 1,000 years. And these days, you can buy Cosmoline on the internet. In spray cans even. So that's what I use when I put these rifles away. In fact, most of these rifles have a thin layer of spray Cosmoline on them. So I don't have to screw around constantly oiling them up when they're in the crate. That's why some of them have dust and cat hair and stuff stuck to them, because they have a little bit of Cosmoline on there. Alright, I guess that pretty much covers the second crate video. I don't think I was going to show you anything else today, at least not on these. I was going to give you a quick look at this. Oh, let me just move this over here and try to do this without breaking stuff. That would be bad. Whoops, there we go. Already at it. Good job. Okay. It's okay, everybody needs an extra hole in the ceiling. Alright. This is that fin that was in the back of the crate from the last video. This is the 1944 Tikakoski M9130. This is a fin-made M9130, not a captured Soviet that they've rebuilt. This is a fin stock on there, sling hangers. I'm not sure if I did a video on this before. I might have. If you're ever lucky enough to find one of these rifles, grab it. This one actually came to me absolutely free. I paid nothing for this. If you look back here, you'll see that it has a section of the stock here called a toe splice. It's very common with these rifles. They do that to save on stock blanks, use lesser blanks and stuff. They just glue a piece. When I bought this rifle, I bought it from Matt Askins at Tombstone Arms. I paid for it. I guess when he was packing it, he dropped it. And he broke off the toe splice. And he damaged the front sight. He refunded my money and sent me the rifle anyway, along with the broken parts, which I have since fixed. Okay, it's not 100% perfect fixed on there, but you know, it's not bad either. It's solid. It's not going anywhere. And it shoots great. And it was a brand new, unissued Tikakoski 1944 9130 for basically nothing. So he's a great guy. Unfortunately, Tombstone Arms went out of business about 6 years ago, so you can't do any more business with him unless you find him at a gun show someplace, which I understand he still does. Absolute stand-up guy. The other three rifles I bought from him, I can't remember what they were at that time. A couple of 91s, I think, and I believe there was a 24-47 in the mix. But that's for another time. You've probably already seen some of the 91s in my other videos. That's just a quick look at that thin rifle while it's out, in case I haven't done a video on it. I don't think I have. I think I did one on the 43 M91. I don't think I did one on the fin. I mean the 9130. Alrighty. I guess that about covers it for this. That's your view of the crate, second row. And no, there's no third row under there. not in this one. It's hard enough to move these things around as it is. Okay.